guess it's time to go.
I'll let you guys know. Breaking news.
He looks like a Cuban that's been dead for 3 weeks.
Look in Baker's eyes. I think we were on the same level.
He looks like Matilda's daddy that sells cars.
Danny DeVito?
I think he danced in front of us for about an unnecessarily long time.
Based on a rundown.
Featuring Val. Yours truly. We're talking about
Other players. There was Maddox, Glavin, Smoltz, Avery.
Is John, hit us with it.
This is all pointless right now because you have no idea what anyone's going to do in free agency.
Jeff Blauser, Chipper Jones.
I was going to say, where's Chipper?
His English is not tremendous.
Oh, whoa, what the heck?
I remember when Doug Flutie had got benched for that 6'5", just athletic quarterback who was trash.
I'm sorry to say this. I don't think he's been that good.
Oh, whoa, what the heck?
Still, if Kevin Pritchard walked up to me, I wouldn't know.
I don't think anybody is going to shy away from calling things to be corrupt and money grabbers.
This is Crime Dog right here. This is D-Crime. This is Fred McGriff.
my whole thing
they
is
had a chance to do that with Dak.
I never said
Music on. Is that me?
No, it's a fucking train. I'll mute myself until it passes.
So everything I say right now should be changed in a month and a half.
I've been saying F the Chiefs.
Whoever wants to go back on the business side of things.
I'm enjoying the game.
I just
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I want
I
to.
just told that.
Are officially live.
Oh boy, my heart is beating fast right now.
Well, here we are.
We made it.
What's the date?
We made it. It is April 28th at 8:02 p.m. And you are live with G-Day Radio. I'm Josh, my co-host Garrett. We've got a big show today. We've got the NFL draft tomorrow. Might talk about it a little bit. Most importantly, we have what we led up to last week with the one rule you would make to make a sport better or worse. A lot of fan engagement on this one. This was a fun one. A lot of fan engagement, both on social media and in person. I think people were really in tune with this one. So
Yeah, and we already have our first, he's not a caller or anything. He called in last week. Connor is currently with us here in the stream. I'm going to add him right now so he can participate. Connor, are you there?
Yes, sir. Long time, first time, boys.
Hey.
Nice to hear from you, Connor.
Yeah,
Good to have you.
I'm excited.
We were kind of worried you wouldn't be able to make it.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
kinda
making
like
pasta
that.
sauce right now. We're good.
Well, I thought you were going to guarantee it, but we know how your guarantees go. So
Hey, we were all at the field on Sunday.
we were.
Yeah,
I fought a lot of traffic to get there on time.
I don't
just
know
to
what
turn around.
I don't know what the amateur umpires union rules are or anything, but are we allowed to talk trash about the dude who just shows up and then says, "No, we're not playing on this"? I mean, Connor, what are your thoughts on the?
Obviously, had better things to do.
As a VP of the league, I don't think I should have a comment here, but the
Can
game
we comment?
The game
Can
still
Josh
has
and Garrett
been marked as a rain out, so y'all can comment however you want on that information.
Are we
okay? So
we're
the
still gonna
Neds will
play
take
it.
that as a win.
W.
Oh yeah.
Okay. No, okay.
Yeah, that was frustrating. I'll talk a little trash. I think that guy had better things to do with this Sunday. So
yeah,
that's all I'm going to say.
But the real reason that Connor is here,
yes,
and that people should be tuning in, is Connor is the originator of the new rules for sports, or not even new rules, just things that would improve sports from the viewer's perspective.
Yeah.
And from my knowledge, Connor tells me that he has an entire book, a
running list. It sounds like.
Yep. So
yeah.
All right. So we'll start with football.
Well, give us the overview. Give us the overview of how you started doing this, why, because it's kind of honestly it's kind of weird to be watching.
Yeah,
that.
also cool.
Yeah. So, my girlfriend grew up playing basketball and played basketball through high school and easily could have played college basketball, but she chose not to. But she's not a huge watching sports person on TV. So to make the games more enjoyable,
Most women aren't, and if they are, they're lying.
but we drink and we talk about random stuff that would make every game better. So, like, I don't know, whether it's a specific player having to do something ridiculous or changing a rule for that game or changing a rule for it, like in general, that is what keeps the games fun for both of us. Yeah, so that's kind of like where all of this started. And we've included multiple friends at this point. So we all talk about anytime any of us are watching a sport together, we try to come up as many dumb rules as we can and then kind of keep track of the good rules and then talk about how to apply those strategically.
Okay, so give us an example.
Yeah. So obviously the basketball one, right? So punching, you get one punch where you have to declare it as you're doing it. You can't just throw a punch and say, oh, I don't know, and then that's a flagrant or whatever. So the one punch.
So it can't just be a heat of the moment when like you got fouled hard and off the guy. You can't. That's still technical. That's still you're out of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the fun ones are with football, I think. So all of us think that the point or the extra point is a stupid concept. So every single time you score, the extra point gets pushed back 5 yards. Like just every single time. So if you're at a 50-yard field goal, so there's actual pressure on it, and you get rid of the 2-point conversion. So you got to nail this, and you got to have guys with huge legs. So you're at 75 yards at the end of the game, tough cookies.
Dang.
If you score that much, you got to hope that you're not dependent on that. What if you go for 2?
There is no go for 2 anymore. Yeah.
What if you're down by 8? It doesn't matter. You
shouldn't have gone down by 8.
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean,
one of the guys that I'm friends with hates whenever the a receiver or running back gets up after getting a first down and he does like the arm pointing towards the goal they're going towards. So his rule is you lose 1 point every time you do that.
That's just
no more.
He must be a big is he like a middle-aged white man that also watches a lot of baseball that hates bat flips?
How did you know?
It just sounded like he might be a demographic.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Let's take all the fun out.
Wait, so go back to the football thing. There used to be a rule in football where if you kicked it, no matter where you kicked it from, as long as it went into the end zone, the other team started at the 20 or started at the touchback. It basically was a touchback. So like back in the day, teams were literally kicking like and attempting 70-yard field goals. And it was, I think it was like as far back as like the 50s or 60s even that they were still doing it in college. And then they finally changed the rule or something like that. And a bunch of kickers were pissed because it was their time to shine. It was like they were like, man, I really hope we get 4th and 30 right here. So I got to kick it from our own 30 and see if we can, break some records. I kind of wish they'd bring that back.
Yeah.
I kind of wish right? Like that would make.
I don't love field goals, but I love watching guys attempt 65-yarders, 60-yarders.
Right, but
that's
you get
pretty
that every
still.
time. You would get that every single time. You would get a guy who gets to attempt a 70-yard field goal literally every possession that didn't go well.
But
because these guys' legs are getting stronger.
It has to get into the end zone, though, right?
Right. I mean,
right. You can't kick it from your own goal line, and unless you boot it 100 yards. But
like you see kickoffs, they kick everything off. On a kickoff from like the 35 or the 30, and they boot that to the back of the end zone, no problem. All you got to do is just touch it. And then you could still have a return game. Like you could still have a returner back there.
Yeah, at the goal line, because if it doesn't make it to the Because is it live once it bounces?
Yeah. So it basically just works like a punt, but if it
I
doesn't
like
work,
that.
yeah, and then the other team just starts off at the 20 if they don't make it. But it just incentivizes crazy kicking attempts. It makes the game more exciting in that regard. Like it makes special teams more fun. At least, imagine watching a game and your team, it's 4th and 10 at your own 35, and rather than just march out there and punt it, it's like, wait a minute. We just signed that kid from Brazil who can kick it 75 yards. Let's roll him out there, and see what happens. At least it makes it really exciting.
Yeah, I feel like the NFL is already like taking kickoffs away from people for safety reasons. So that one might be a tough one to pull off.
I just think it would increase viewership.
Oh, I love the idea. I think it's a great idea.
I think if you removed helmets and added that rule back and got rid of the shoulder pads, I think we could see it. Like, I don't know. Get rid of all the protective gear, you have less concussions.
I'm with you there. I'm with you on losing that, because guys
maybe more deaths, but less concussions.
Right, guys. Well, guys won't be headhunting because they can't go in with their heads without breaking their own skull.
But then you'll have those guys like Vontaze Burfict coming through that just don't care.
Brian Cushing, going up and
I don't know,
having
man.
his helmet ripped off and smashing his skull into another guy's face mask.
You see it a lot less in like rugby and stuff, and Aussie rules football. It's because it hurts pretty good to.
Yeah, but nobody wants to see wrap-up tackles. Everyone wants to see guys spearing each other, flying in.
Yeah. Half the rules I got on my Facebook post were about going back to those days where you're just flying in and killing the guy. So I think that's a big part of the fan engagement.
Like getting rid of wide receiver protection and stuff
like
that.
If you come across the middle, then you have to risk death. I'm sorry. That's what most people were posting in that regard.
That's kind of shocking to me, to be honest.
What?
That's like the most common rule people came up with.
I guess it's not the most common rule. It just in those terms, I didn't. There were a few people in those terms that were like, let's bring back 2000s football with, Troy Polamalu screeching through the middle and lighting people up. People love big hits.
No, you're right. People love the big hit. People want more big hits, and they want less wrap-up, form tackling. They say they don't want concussions and they don't want brain damage, but at the same time, everything points the opposite direction.
Yeah, it's an entertainment for us. So,
what are the top 10 plays? The top 10 plays are never like, oh, look at this wonderful pass deflection.
Yeah, look at this wrap-up tackle here.
All right, Connor, you got more rules?
Yeah. So this is one we were watching the Padres-Dodgers game on Sunday, and the guy pitching, it was like the 10th inning, and he was, 150 pounds. He was super tiny. So the rule my girlfriend came up with is, nothing changes about the uniforms, gear, or anything else. They're just not allowed to wear belts anymore. And like whatever their size is now, you just got to deal with it, and you can't do anything to try to make your pants stay up.
Huh. Yeah.
As someone who is in the 150s range of weight, I'm not a fan of that rule.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like an example of how, right? We talked about that probably for a solid 20 minutes about like how that would change the game and how difficult it would be to be a catcher at that point.
Well, you would really have to have a good
weights.
I guess equipment manager. The equipment staff will have to be top notch.
Yeah,
like you'll have
and
to
really
have
tailored pants.
Tailors, yeah, no, like you'll have to have tailored. If anything, it just gives more people jobs.
Right,
This is a job creating rule.
But the rule is you can't make them better. Like you're buying like Easton pants or Nike pants off the rack.
Off the rack.
For the major league level?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll throw in a rule that one of our bigger viewers, Jordan Ruprecht, sent out to me that I was a fan of. If we go back to football real quick, because I see we're moving past it. Colin, I'll get your opinion on this one. So if you are, say you've got 1st and 10 from your own 8-yard line, and you get a holding penalty. So you can only, instead of going half the distance to the goal, you go back 8 yards to the goal line or 7 yards to the 1-yard line, and you tack on 3 yards to the first down marker. So now it's still 1st and 20. You went back as far as you could. The first down marker just pushed further out. What do you think about that? I'm a fan of that rule.
I love that. Like,
We
that
talked
would
about
make
that.
the game so much fun.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
What
It
happens?
just makes sense because, like, right now it's like, okay, you get a holding penalty at the 5-yard line. You go back
And it's
2
a
yards.
2.5 yard, yeah.
It goes from 1st and 10 to 1st and 12, like la-di-da.
So what happens if
really
you go,
incentivize the holding penalty there?
So what happens if you're on defense and it's 1st and goal on the 2-yard line and there's a pass interference? Like,
Well, that's
the
already-
pass interference. So is it still just half the distance? Because I feel like if you were to do the offensive side, you
Well,
have
I
to
mean,
do
it just
something.
depends. If it's like 1st and goal from the 9 and the pass interference happened in the end zone, then yeah, they're at the 1. But if the pass interference had at like the 5-yard line, I think it should just be like a spot foul for that instance.
Interesting. Okay. I love the rule. I think that would be a hell of a lot of fun to watch. Like, you would have guys who are really good at hiding holding penalties.
Oh,
which
yeah.
would be fun to watch.
It would just be better because then, there's no, like, you are completely punished 100% to the letter of the law in the rule for breaking the rule, as opposed to, like, oh, okay, well, it's a 10-yard penalty, but you can't go back 10 yards, so you're just going to go back 3 yards. All right, there we go. It's the same.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Connor, you can continue. I wanted to get your opinion on that one.
Yeah. So I heard y'all talking last week about all the other various rule changes to baseball. So Foolish Baseball did, like, if you were God for a day, like moving the mound back 60 feet or 62 feet, like be at 62 feet. I think all of those would make the game better and more enjoyable to watch as a passive viewer and not a player. So, like, moving it back 62 feet or to be 62 feet, pitch clocks, universal DH. I think all of those would make the game of baseball more fun to watch and more accessible to a lot of viewers.
Yeah, especially universal DHs, which I think on this show, universally we are a fan of. Am I right, Garrett?
Okay. No, I want pitchers to hit. But, okay, so this brings up a rule that Corey brought up last night. The whole extra innings instead of, or I think it was Corey. So the minor leagues are maybe an independent league or
it was
something
Corey.
like that.
It was independent.
Yeah, an independent league is already testing this out. Basically, you go into instead of going into extra innings, instead of having it, you have a home run derby. Each team
Your
picks
best
their
player goes
home
out
run
there,
hitter,
5 pitches.
I love it.
and you just slug it out.
Yeah. You don't get enough home run derbies. One home run derby a year is not good enough for me. I'd like to see a home run derby a lot more. If this is the way we do it,
It's like a shootout.
I'm a fan.
But so who's throwing the BP? Is it like the pitcher?
No, so see, that's what we were talking about last night. That's a question that came up. It's like a team could have a designated
BP guy?
BP guy. Yeah.
Oh, man. I would be such a great BP pitcher.
I think it would be better if it were like you get Shohei Ohtani to bat or Mike Trout to bat. You get 5 at-bats off the same pitcher, and it's those results combined, and then you get the other team goes out and does the same.
So is it not a home run derby anymore? The other team's in the field?
No. You got to hit bombs or it's an out.
Against So
against live ABs. Or the live AB.
it's just going to be a bunch of strikeouts. Yeah, you're not going to
Or
get a
not
lot
even
of home
strikeouts, 'cause
runs.
if you have to,
It's gonna
if
go
you
on
have
for
to hit a home
forever.
run, if you have to hit a home run, then you're not. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like how many at bats does it take to give up for Shohei Ohtani to give up a home run, or for insert
Yeah.
pitcher?
How many at bats does it take to hit a home run? It's usually like in the 13 region for your best hitters. So
My concern with doing it against a live or against a like a coach is if you go watch shootouts in soccer or in hockey, it's always against the opposing goalie.
mano.
It's the starting goalie and not some equipment room guy who just strapped on a face mask.
Listen, Garrett and I are job creators. You don't sound like you love America and love to create jobs for people. So,
hey man, I own a business. I love creating jobs. Don't
I agree. I think in theory it sounds great to be like mano. I'm gonna get Chapman out here and against Mike Trout, and let's see what'll happen. But baseball's already got a swing and miss issue, so I think seeing more of that, I think it's just gonna be a big downer, and it's gonna take 20 at bats to finally maybe. And then is that pitcher even gonna throw? I mean, what if he walks and just throws a bunch of balls?
It's a home run.
A walk is a home run?
Yep.
Okay, well, you're incentivizing coming into the zone, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So that brings another rule that Chris Corbet brought up last night, and it was you're allowed to steal first base. So if you're at bat and the ball gets away, doesn't matter what the count is, the ball gets away, you can run to first base.
Isn't that being tested?
I think it's been kind of talked about like in certain circles. I don't know if it's actually being tested or not, but I like it. I think it incentivizes throwing strikes, which will lead to more swings and more contact and more offense.
I think do you have to swing? Or is it anytime a catcher drops the ball, you can
anytime the catcher? I mean, the catcher could bobble the ball and it falls on the ground, and you could theoretically take off to first.
I think that would result in a lot of catcher injuries. Being friends with Mike, he is banged up every single game. So if he had to block,
yeah, but that's because he quit smoking.
Okay, talk to Corey. How banged up does Corey get every game?
Corey picks the ball.
Huh?
Corey goes out there. Yeah, Corey picks the ball, and B, he goes out there every single weekend and pitches a full 6 innings for his kids' coach pitch game, and then shows up and catches all 7 innings. Or
Corey's a physical specimen, so I don't think we need to use him.
All right. So what I'm saying though is, if you go watch big league games, right? They let the ball go by, and they let it go, and they just do their thing whenever there's somebody
often,
else.
Yeah, you better not.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking it results in Yadier Molina playing 100 games or 90 games instead of 130 games.
I'm all for you. I'm not playing very often.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. Oh no,
That's cheater.
A Cardinal player can't.
The guy puts
play.
He puts sticky on his chest protector, so the ball's just going to stick to him anyway. So
I would love pine tar to be an acceptable substance for pitchers.
That's a rule. I think you should
put Velcro on.
I don't think there should be a rule against having substances on your hand. Like,
yeah, fuck Tony Conigliaro. Like, he's the reason we lost all of our fun with the spitball and everything.
Listen, anything that gives a pitcher an advantage, I'm not here to talk about. So,
well, batters can use pine tar.
Yeah.
Back to the drop pitch. Don't throw it in the dirt. You don't throw a light out slider. Don't throw it to the backstop.
That's strategic on like an 0-2 pitch,
and it's
like you're
killing the game.
You're taught from like when you start learning how to like actually pitch, you never give up a hit on 0-2. Like if you do, that's a cardinal sin. So you learn to bury sliders, bury curves, bury changeups intentionally. to try to get a swing on a really bad pitch.
Listen,
Well, guess what?
someone who swings at some very bad pitches, I understand the strategy behind it, and I'm here to say stop doing it. Throw me a strike, throw me a fastball.
Fans don't want to see it.
Yeah,
We don't want to see.
I don't
we
wanna
wanna
see-
Javi Baez batting 500 though.
I would love to see Javi Baez bat 500.
What are you talking about?
You're
What
talking
are
about
you talking
Yadier
about,
Molina and
Connor?
Javier Baez. You obviously don't know who you're in the right environment.
Oh, aren't y'all both Chicago boys?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're over here like, the
No one
best
wants to
catcher
see
in
Chris
Cardinals
Bryant hit
history.
30 bombs in 5 games. Yeah, I'm all
Actually,
here for
both of
6
us.
bombs a game. Let's go.
Both of us would love that. I would
Yeah.
love to see Javi
Your
Baez
examples
hit
are very
500.
off-putting.
my bad. All right, let me start over. Nobody wants to see Javi Baez hit 500, except for you two and like 15 other Cubs fans.
15
Yeah.
billion.
Yeah,
No,
seriously.
no, they're not America's.
I
team.
really like that rule now that I think about it, Josh. Yeah, like if
Okay.
you bounce it in there,
Yeah.
first pitch. So
Goes the
second
backstop.
pitch,
Guess what? On first, maybe on second.
I don't know, man. I think it results in more injuries than
Okay.
y'all imagine.
Okay.
Or
A lot
it
more.
or it turns into a lot more battable play because the pitcher's actually got to come at the batter and not just throw it way out of the zone.
I like the idea of going back to the old days when the pitcher used to have to tell the batter exactly where he was going to throw it and what he was throwing.
That's not a rule ever.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
back in like the 1910s, and before that, they would have to tell them where the pitch was going to be, and if it
No,
wasn't
there's
there,
a-
it was a
there's a-
ball.
There's a historic society in Grapevine. All you got to do is it's basically slow pitch softball with a baseball.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Okay, here's another Corbet example. If you strike the batter out and you're going around the horn and you overthrow the third baseman, or if that ball's dropped, that guy who struck out can stay in the batter's box, and as soon as that ball hits the dirt, he can take off to first.
So what happens with like Vandy when Jack Leiter strikes a guy out? It goes to the first baseman, then goes right back to the pitcher. Like
As long as the ball doesn't hit the dirt, you don't have to go around the horn. But if you are going to show up around the horn and you airmail the third baseman or skip it in or the first baseman and that ball touches the dirt, that batter can take off to first. So if you skip it into the third baseman and he picks it, that batter can still take off to first, and that third baseman is going to have to make a throw over to first base again.
Okay. I like it. So in case y'all are wondering, this is how the conversations go with my girlfriend and I. We come up with stupid rules and the other one says how dumb they are, and then we just keep coming up with them. So I'm not trying to be like a Debbie Downer. This is just how it works for the last 5 years.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, these aren't my rules. These are just rules that people have spoken verbally to me that I've thought were interesting.
Yeah, we actually had people like participate and give us suggestions on what they think.
So what are y'all's rules? What have y'all come up with?
Well, I wanted to bring the kicking thing back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a good rule. I've been I had some pretty good rules, I thought, last week, and then I started getting everybody else's rules, and now I don't know what is a rule that I thought of and is not a rule that I thought of.
All of my rules,
my brain's kind of mush.
My rules are, typical old white guy rules. Like, I want to get rid of the 3-point line.
I want to move it back.
Move it back 15 feet.
I don't want there to be 3-pointers.
Why?
You don't want dunks either, or
no. I mean, you can dunk it, but like you put the ball in the hoop. You put the ball in the hoop.
Here's a rule. One of our viewers, Ryan, who's been asked to be tapped in. I don't know how he wants to do that, but a rule that he came up with was shotgun mulligans on the PGA Tour.
You can
absolutely.
He can call in, or you can send him the link that I sent you.
I don't know if he actually wants to be tapped in.
No.
If he
Maybe
did, he would
comment
text
again.
me. But yeah,
This is true. Wait,
but I
what was
like
the
that
rule?
shotgun mulligan in the PGA.
What do you mean?
So if you hit a bad shot, you can hit another shot, have a mulligan, but you've got a shotgun of beer.
Oh.
And PGA right now is paying all these guys, or says they're going to lay out bonuses for fan engagement and kind of being more out there social media wise. So I think
I
it
personally
could work.
I personally would pay
Call the number,
to
Ryan.
watch guys do
Ryan,
it.
there's a number right there at the bottom of
We
the
have a
screen. Call it.
ticker that has the number.
I really want Ryan to call in because I had lunch today with my mom and Emily Zurishin, and we talked about how Ryan's dad Steve is like the epitome of proud grandpa,
Yep, for sure.
and then it got into a conversation of how he's always been like proud dad, proud grandpa, and then like just Steve's awesome. But it's funny we were talking about him earlier.
Did y'all grow up together? You and Josh Garrett?
We've known each other since we were like 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so shotgun mulligan, I'm all for. And then a very popular one was having an average Joe compete with pros to really show the drastic difference.
That is something that I have talked about with my girlfriend at length.
Yeah,
like
I think every Olympics it comes up. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
But I think it should be like the average. It can't be just be like an average show. It's got to have someone with like a background in the sport. So you can't have these other like average Joes that ran track in high school. They're like, oh, I could have done that, because you've got a guy who was maybe like NAIA track or D3 track that maybe isn't quite as good, and then you have these Olympic runners.
Yeah, so
burning them.
like Brandon on our team, the pitcher, right? So he played D3 baseball. Like, go have him bat 10 or bat 9 in the lineup.
Yeah,
like against the Rangers.
Yeah, instead of having a universal DH, just have that.
That would be amazing.
Or I ran track with Roberts, but I put me up there with the Olympians in the 800, and I'm getting toasted. And so people can be like, oh, well, like, I can do that. Well, you probably weren't a D1 athlete, so I don't think you would keep up with these guys either. But just see that drastic, like, even from like a college to the Olympians, how drastic that difference is. I think.
Okay,
I think it would be awesome.
Okay, so to go along with the universal DH, I think if we're gonna do universal DH, I think you should be allowed to put your pitcher back in the game, or like a substitution of pitchers. I think you should be able to throw a guy 1 inning and then throw another guy another inning and then put the other guy back in. Like, I think you should be able to go Clayton Kershaw, Trevor Bauer, Walker Buehler, and then go back to Kershaw, and then throw in Buehler, and then put in Bauer, and I don't think you should. If you take the pitcher out, he should be done. If you're going to do a universal DH.
Yeah, so like unlimited substitutions at the pitcher position, and just let's see what happens.
Yeah, like if Clayton Kershaw's out there, he's thrown 3 innings. He's like, hey, I just need a breather.
Shit. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go take a dump. Like, I'll be right back. Can you just let Trevor go pitch for like an inning or two? And he's like, okay, I'm good. Good job, Trevor. Stay, loose or whatever in the bullpen, and then you can come back in a second.
I think that's a good way to burn up arms.
Is it a good way to burn them up, or is it a good way to like sustain arms? Like, suddenly you've got.
I don't know how many pitchers want to get cold and get back out there.
Yeah. Or you got, or they just throw 2 innings, 2 innings, 2 innings, 2 innings, and I mean, I guess there's nothing really stopping them from doing it now. But you can just go back and forth, like or even in the playoffs, like this. I feel like this could be big in the postseason.
I always see like when a pitcher's, even when he's pitching well, and then like the bottom half of the inning, the offense comes out there and they hit around, and they're like, well, we don't know how this long inning is going to affect this pitcher coming back out. Like, I feel like pitchers want to they're fine with, hey, let's get a run, maybe 4 or 5 batters, let me get back out there and keep this train moving. So I don't know if a pitcher wants to sit out for an inning or two. It just feels like a very long time.
Well,
I may not be a good example, but like I have a finicky arm, but I started all the way through high school. And if my coach told me, hey, go sit for an inning and then you'll come back out and pitch after starting, I don't think I could. Like, I physically don't think I'd be able to do it. Like, I could throw maybe 60% speed, but there's no way I could go back out there and go max effort.
I'm just saying that a coach or a manager should have that option.
So like if there's like a lefty
Yeah,
righty
okay.
lefty in the like lefty righty lefty situation late in the game, Chapman should be able.
I think that
So I don't
should
think you
be
could do
able
it
to-
mid-inning.
Or you just warm up
Get him?
at the start. At the start, you warm up 2 starters, and then you got a righty. You warm up your righty starter and your lefty starter, and you just have your lefty sitting in the dugout waiting for another lefty to come up to bat. And he's like, "Okay, hold on, let's make a little switch mid inning." Okay, and then okay, go back out there. Like they could literally go back and forth every single batter if the other team has a lefty righty.
It sounds like you guys want to make baseball worse. You guys are all for the pitcher. I mean,
I doubled down on your rule though. If they would still have to not be able to bounce it in, or they could still, people could still take advantage of the ball bouncing in and stuff like that. Like, I'm with you on that one.
So
I'm just also on the pitcher side as far as like, well, if you're not going to let them hit, like, let's go ahead and make it to where,
let
there's
them play even less.
crazy pitcher. It's not even less. It's like if he's that dominant, you keep him in there. But like in a situation where your team's starting their 5th starter and he sucks against lefties, and you've got a lefty specialist who you can just have ready to go.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know I went out and grabbed another beer, and my girlfriend, her name's Rebecca, stopped me and said I forgot to mention her favorite rule that she's ever come up with, which is every game, one person, and it has to be a different person each game, gets to pick the bat the whole team uses.
A
And it
person
has
from
to
the
be-
opposite team?
No, on your team. So like
Gotcha.
on the old fashions, game 1, Garrett gets to pick the bat, but it can't be the same size, 1 ounce either way from game to game. So like if you pick a 33-30 for game 1 made by Old Hickory, you can't use a 29 ounce or a 31 ounce the next game.
You've got
So
to
there's
go.
like,
You've got to go heavy or light.
yep.
Boy. So, wow. Okay, I like that. Would not work for my game because I like to swing a very light bat. So if
Yeah,
we
it
were
wouldn't
moving
work
up
for
a notch,
anyone's game.
Again, this is I like the rule, but Josh is right. It seems like all of our rules
I'm
are
trying
actually,
to see more runs and more hits in baseball.
No, yeah, this would just make
We're
the game
trying to
much
be
more
best friends with
detrimental.
We're trying to be best friends with Manfred over here.
Yeah.
No.
So another Chris Corbet was really on top of things. Another one is he wants to see people fielders use the finger gloves, so no webs. So back old school to the finger gloves. So like a hard hit line drive is more difficult to catch. It creates more hand-eye coordination. Your glove is probably smaller, and you got all 5 fingers in there instead of having the web to catch a hard hit ball.
So do we get the old rule of 1 bounce counts as a catch?
I don't know if that nuance was added in there.
Because if that's the case, right, I could deal with my palm hurting. I would just smack it down and catch it on the bounce.
Have you ever
I'm going to say
used
no.
a-
I'm going to say no. You've got to catch it.
Have you ever
Yes.
used a finger like a
Yes,
just a
my
finger
mom.
glove?
My mom is really big into like knickknacks and decorating things. So I grew up playing baseball. So I have like probably 20 gloves ranging from the early 1900s all the way through. Just like
Wow.
have them as like collector's items.
Yeah, I've got my grandpa's or my papa's old baseball glove, and it is a finger glove.
It sucks.
Yeah, I don't know how you catch anything. It's literally 5 fingers, and then the web is just like a strip. It's just like
Yep.
I
So
don't-
so tell me how y'all did last night before we continue talking about this. I want
We lost 2-1 in a walk-off. So another rule.
No. I want to know because y'all almost beat the Pelicans.
yeah.
Yeah, Garrett was dominant on the bump. Only reason we were in the game at all. We got 1
Before
run. They came out with their pitcher, their starter that throws like the older guy that throws like 55 miles an hour, and
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
we
Justin?
somehow only managed 1 run on him, and then
Off
they
of our
brought
new
in
guy. So our
the
new
guy.
guy, we were missing like 3 bats, 3 big bats, 4. Jeff Reed, Jimmy, Trevor. Not there. So our new guy, Duke, wind's blowing in like 15, 20 miles an hour the whole game.
At
And
least.
he just blasts one off the outfield wall. Like, if the wind's not blowing in as hard as it was, this thing's going into the Prestonwood parking lot. It just crushes it. Touches second base and then starts doing push-ups on second base, which, is another thing we'll talk about later.
Because he's yoked, right? I looked him up on Instagram.
He's a baseball player. He is strong. But then he subsequently got picked off at second by their catcher, who's got a cannon of an arm.
Wait, which guy? The guy from
the twin.
6 foot. Okay, yeah. He played at UTD with one of our guys or two of our guys.
Not shocked by that. He was very good. Had a hell of an arm. From his knees, I think he picked him off. And then our next guy struck out, and that was the end of the inning. We got one run across, and that's all she wrote for the Neds.
Everything was going really, really good, and then the 5th inning happened, and there were 2 outs and a guy on second base, and then a pop fly up into left field that just went off of a glove.
Yeah,
and then
wind caught him, and run scored. So, and then we lost on a walk-off. It was just walk-off sac fly. But back-to-back walk-off losses for the Neds.
And the problem is the umpire at the same time also was not being
Who was
very
it?
nice. He was new. I'd never seen this guy
Yeah, he was a
before.
younger guy.
He was terrible. He did not dude, I probably started off like 4 or 5 different at-bats with the first pitch breaking ball for a strike, just right down the middle. And the guy would not give me anything. He wouldn't call it. He even told Corey that he wasn't going to call corners unless I stuck it. Like, what does that mean?
It means you got to fucking stick it, brother.
What does that mean, though? Like, it's like, well, what if the ball goes across the plate? Like,
Yeah,
about
Garrett
that?
was throwing wiffle balls last night that wind, so he was on his A game. We just didn't bring the sticks with us, and the pitchers were very good. They were
The other 2 guys that they brought in were
throwing sliders that were fooling us.
Who else came in?
The next guy was the other twin.
Okay.
So the catcher's brother, he came in just throwing gas. We got guys on base against him, and then they brought in he's like a Hispanic kid.
Joe?
Maybe I don't know their name.
Or maybe it was Joe.
The guy
I can
that
look
was
up on
the
a Game
Pirates,
Changer.
and the guy on the Pirates, and the guy that he ultimately moved to the Orioles, and now he's a Pelican.
His last name is.
This won't help me at all.
They didn't make a change in the on their Game Changer, so I don't know.
Yeah,
the guy was throwing pretty fast, and then his slider was disappearing on us. So their pitching's good.
Yeah, we lost to them 2-0. Yeah, their pitching is very, very good. But they got run ruled by the Panthers.
Yeah, I saw that
last week,
like 10-0 or something.
Yeah, it was. So I got there.
But I think they started Dustin, and they Panthers 6 obviously on him in the first inning,
it was not Dustin. It was like they threw their 3 aces at that.
Oh wow!
Heath?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Heath got lit up by him. That's right.
Heath got hit?
He got lit up. He gave up maybe 6 runs.
Dude, I've never heard that in this league, that Heath got hit.
Brandon on our team, he brings a gun every game. So he and I got there like an hour and a half early and watched basically the whole game and had a gun out. Heath was only throwing like 75.
Dude, he got married.
Yeah.
So does
really
that
goes
mean
to show you?
Whenever I get married, I'll start throwing 75? Because that'll be a big upgrade for me.
I don't know if it goes up. I think that's just the qualifier.
I was like, that's like 12 miles down. So I think you're going to be throwing like 55.
Hey, I'll be like Dustin then.
Figuring out a way to get out. No, it's what you were throwing on the gun, like you were like stuck at 68 or 69.
Dude,
like
so the first game I threw against the the fighting squirrels, I was throwing 74. So
Whoa.
yeah, buddy.
Gun was broken, I guess.
Yeah, well, that and the Bang Energy.
Oh, you had a Bang Energy?
Yeah. Do y'all watch Eric Sim on YouTube?
No. What is he? What does he do? Go ahead and give him a.
Yeah. So he only has like 13,000
Advertisement.
subscribers, but you need to watch him. So
We have 13, so you know.
Yeah. So he is a JUCO guy who got drafted in like the 20th or 30th round in Major League Baseball. He played 6 years and never got above AA. So now he makes YouTube videos, and his goal at the start of the lockdown last year, so in like March, he was like, I'm going to throw 95. That's my whole fucking goal. And he was throwing like 84, 85 at the beginning, and now he's throwing 94. And he's a bro. Like, he drinks. He did a pro day at Driveline, which is a big facility out in Seattle. He did a pro day.
Well, they're everywhere.
Yeah, he slammed a Corona, did smelling salts on the mound, and was throwing for these scouts. And they all had their guns up, and he's like, put them away. Just go subscribe to my YouTube channel. He was
So he didn't get signed anywhere, I assume?
Well, yeah, he said, I'm not signing. Like, he explicitly stated, I don't want to sign. So he goes to pro days. He does live ABs.
I say that too at our games. Hey, I'm not signing for you. Just in case you're going to give me a deal. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I say, hey, put the gun away. You're not going to need it for me. Trust me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't want to know.
The difference is they have the gun at Driveline.
I don't want to make millions of dollars. So.
Yeah. No, he's a bar manager, and he throws fucking gas, and he drinks and makes YouTube videos.
Probably has the best time playing amateur ball too.
Yeah.
He doesn't even do that anymore. He just throws gas, and he's friends with Trevor Bauer. 10 out of 10.
That's pretty cool. I really like Trevor Bauer. I wish I did.
Yeah, I do too.
He does seem like a douchebag, but at the same time, like, I still like him.
Yeah, when he came after Tatis was taunting him, he was like, "That's great for the game. I love it." So he's like, "I do the same thing. I did the sword when I got Machado or Hosmer or someone to check swing." So I was all for it.
Yeah, he's tons of fun. And then he, puts pine tar on his fingers and.
Yep, he is intentionally a heel, and I love it. I'm here for it.
I bet he watches professional wrestling because he is absolutely a heel. Like, he is absolutely like a character. He does bits. Everything about his game is a bit, Do
y'all watch like MMA or UFC ever?
I saw that guy's leg snap in half, but
yeah. So there's a guy named Chael Sonnen who he's like the last generation before where we are currently. He was the Trevor Bauer. Like, everyone loved him or hated him, and he was intentionally the bad guy. But it got everybody to buy pay-per-views and tune in to watch it.
Yeah, all sports need a heel. I mean, every sport needs one, at least one.
Yeah, and it's fun to watch them. Like, it's fun to watch a heel do things and talk shit because
those guys are willing to say that kind of stuff, and then whatever happens at that point. But like
Patrick Beverly,
if they back it up, they back it up. It's funny if they don't,
and if they don't, people love it when they don't.
Right,
exactly.
So you got what you deserve.
Old school style, or not that old school, but like Deshaun Stevenson was like known for talking trash to LeBron James, and like ended up winning a title. But his whole career, he had like spent trash talking LeBron James, and it was kind of
Lance Stevenson, same thing.
Lance Stevenson. So something about the Stevensons.
Yeah.
Oh no, we lost Connor.
Connor. Well, we'll go another Chris Corbet. I kind of wanted Connor's opinion on it. Oh, you back, Connor?
Yep. Yeah. Y'all have me for 10 more minutes, and I'm gonna go eat dinner.
Okay. I want your opinion on this last Chris Corbet rule. Okay. He says, as submitted in person, batter's discretion to run clockwise or counterclockwise when they hit and no one's on base. So
I love it.
You can run to third, you can run to first. defense gotta make the adjustment. So I think
this
it brings
is
more lefties into the infield.
I was about to say it gives lefties a chance to play the infield, which is what
And
he
it gives
wanted.
righties easier to get to third. I mean, lefties like Shohei can get down the line so quick because he's already headed that way. Like if I could start going to a third and swing into it, I'm getting down the baseline a lot faster. So
that would be a rule Rebecca and I would talk about for probably 4 or 5 games. I love it. That is a 10 out of 10 rule.
Wow.
That
a
is
10 out of 10 rule.
It took me a minute to kind of get it wrapped around my mind when he was telling me about it. But the more I thought about it now, I'm like, I like it.
No, that is by far the best rule we've talked about all night. For the last 50 minutes, that is the best rule I've heard.
Wow, Chris Corbet knocked it out of the park.
Congrats,
with that one.
Chris.
Yeah, you should tell him because it is.
I will.
Fantastic.
He'll be excited to hear that.
I love it, and the reason I love it is because, why do left-handed hitters get a 5-foot advantage to first base?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ichiro was halfway down the baseline by the time he hit the ball.
Right.
Yeah. So does that mean third basemen start wearing a first baseman's mitt?
Maybe.
And when do they have to designate it though? Is it right out of the batter's box, or is it before the at bat? Hey, I'm going to third.
Out of the batter's box. So you got to kind of know it's going to take away shifts.
So it's your first move, and you can't fake, right?
You can't. Yeah, you can't.
Okay.
You can't start one way and go back.
Okay.
I think the if I were to make the rules slightly more concrete, first step out of the batter's box, whichever direction your out of the batter's box foot goes, boom, that's the direction you got to run.
Okay, so there's a problem that you could run into because what if you have a guy on first base and
it only happens when the base is cleared. So there's a man on first, you have to go to first.
Oh, that's right, and then that establishes for that inning the direction your entire team's going. So
until the one inning again, so you could hit a home run and then everything's up for grabs again.
Wow,
it would change how switch hitters work too. Someone who is truly a 300 hitter from both sides of the plate. If a righty decides to go to third base first, that person's probably more incentivized to go right-handed, regardless of who's on the mound.
If he's fast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If he's not, and if he's not going to get down the base path anyways, then he probably doesn't mind it. But if he can get down the baseline at all, which a lot of these guys are getting a lot faster these days, so
yeah, everyone but Javi Baez, Chris Bryant, and everyone else on the Cubs.
Yeah, well, Chris Bryant's known for being one of the best going from first to third, and whatnot, but we won't talk about that. So
but he doesn't know how to do a hard 90, so that's what truly matters.
Yeah, you're right. The hard 90s in baseball, I forget.
Yeah, no,
it's all about hard 90s.
If you're not doing a hard 90, you're not on the Bears. That's all it is.
No matter what, walk, strike out, doesn't matter. Pop
hard
up.
90.
Hey, we beat the Tigers yesterday, so we're officially not the worst team in the league.
We are.
We are.
Yeah, we haven't won a game. So,
all right. So I'll be pitching against you guys whenever we play. I will give you guys as many runs as you want.
I want to
just
pitch
throw me
against
fastballs. Basically, is all. I'm tired of seeing sliders and curveballs every pitch. Guys are getting too fancy. Now we implement the rule that if you don't catch it, I can run to first, and then keep throwing them.
We've been talking about it on our team. The league has gotten a lot better between last year and this year.
Oh yeah,
Urban
every
texted me
team's
that
got
the
a
other
guy
day.
that can got 2 or 3 guys that can throw anywhere from 85 to 88 with pretty nasty. Well, at least one pitch that can be nasty.
Yeah, so the guy. Have y'all played the Dark Horse yet?
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, we played the Dark Horse. Nolan pitched against us.
Oh, that's right. That was the second game of the year.
So they have a new guy who throws 85 to 87.
Yep.
With 3 pitches. He got lit up by the Pelicans, but that doesn't say much. But he is fantastic, and he's new to the league. Apparently, the Pirates have a couple of new guys that throw gas.
Yep.
Obviously, the Pelicans have guys. The Orioles have Corey. We have Brandon.
I We don't have anybody that really throws gas. Like Trevor throws decently hard, but it's probably like low 80s. And
I'll
that's
tell you whenever we
I
play.
do not.
We know how hard
Yeah.
Garrett throws.
Not very.
69 to 71, brother.
That's where I'm sitting at.
Hey, that's not bad. That gets outs. The guy that
he gets a
threw
lot
it-
of not hard contact because he's got so much movement.
Got
The guy
enough.
that-
That's the game Garrett plays.
It was enough to probably win last night, but again,
Yep.
we
Yeah.
won't go through it. I slept way too good to, have to reminisce
Bring
on
it
that
back up.
and
Yep.
bring it back and give myself nightmares.
The guy that run ruled the Pelicans on the Panthers, he was throwing 70 to 73. So
We
Or
obviously didn't get a chance to see that guy because everybody we faced against the Panthers played professionally. So
oh, y'all face Craig, the big righty, and then the big
yeah,
lefty.
we faced they threw like 5 different guys, finishing
Yeah.
off with the guy who pitched for the Cubs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Craig, good guy. Throws
yeah.
gas.
Good guy.
yeah, he threw a wipeout slider to me that I just like it started in the middle of the plate, and I was like, finally something I can hit, and then I swung and it was at my back foot, and I was like, cool, sweet.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
with that, I'm really hungry, and I finished my
Yeah.
beer. So,
We're going on an hour, which is a good time
Yeah,
for us. So
Usually when we cut off anyways, about
awesome. Well, thank
About
you
an hour
guys
these
for the invitation. I hope this is enjoyable for you guys. So,
yeah, anytime you
was.
want to come on.
yeah, man. I will talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good one.
All right, see you,
Bye,
Connor.
Connor. Love you. What a great guy.
Yeah, he was a good addition, I think, for the rules. He obviously is someone who wants to change up sports.
Well, it was his idea, and him and his girlfriend were I guess they actually do this. Like they actually sit around and come up with ideas while they're watching the games, and then take the time
Yeah.
to write them down. I really like Chris's idea. Like we were talking about it last night at the game.
Yeah,
I love Corey's idea. Or I guess it's already being used by an independent league, so it's not his idea, but he said it to me. I heard it from him, so it's his idea. Extra innings, get rid of them. Home run derby.
yeah.
That's sweet. That sounds sweet.
I'm actually okay with ties. I don't mind ties in baseball.
Interesting.
So let's just run through some of the other rules people posted, so they feel like they contributed. We got
honorable
a
mentions.
universal DH, which I think is something that they're
Cool.
already going
Yeah.
with.
Let's not make pitchers be baseball players. Good idea.
Whoever finishes with the worst record gets an automatic lowest seed in the playoffs the following year.
Wait, it gets an automatic what?
Lowest seed in the playoffs, so like an 8 seed.
Wait, so that almost incentivizes you to like
Tank. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that rule. And then
Okay,
I even said, like,
interesting,
what if
yeah.
that team turns around and has best record the following year, still gets the lowest seed? And yeah, it was correct. So didn't love it, but
I like the
hey,
idea
people-
of a
people are
tournament.
trying.
I like the idea of a tournament by the losing teams, like the teams that
Yeah.
don't make the playoffs, a tournament for the top pick or a tournament for draft order. So like
Yeah,
if
I
you're
like that. So you can't just totally suck.
well, it's like if you're you're a couple wins away from making the playoffs and they're the absolute
And it's not
worst
just a
team in the
lost
league.
year, so you're mediocre.
Right, the absolute worst team in the league though, like why do they get the best
Yeah.
player coming out of school? Like they should that's not going to get one player's not going to get a team to the playoffs no matter what sport it is for the
Unless
most
you're
part.
the team that's just a game or two out.
Right, but then all of a sudden, yeah, you get the
That pushes the
team
envelope.
that-
I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Assuming they win it all. You could still win it
Yeah.
all as the worst team in the NBA. It's just
Unlimited fouls in basketball was another rule. I think they're kind of toying with this in college, not unlimited, but they're toying with the idea of it's per half. So you can get like 3 fouls and a half, and then it kind of starts over. So if
Okay.
you can get like a total maybe of 4 fouls, and then it starts over in the second half, and you can. I don't. They're toying with those rules, because in college basketball especially, it's 5 fouls is
You
not,
can. Right.
yeah, not enough. Baseball, if you throw and hit the runner with the ball, they're out. So very back to
Pegging.
wiffle ball,
Pegging.
yeah, pegging, kickball style, which would have worked last night for the Cubs because they hit Freddie Freeman in the back elbow, and he
So,
would
yeah,
have been a double play.
But there's the flip side of it. Like, yeah, okay, that the assumption is you're gonna hit him every time. In that situation, there would be a ton of scenarios where guys just miss. And
yeah, that
the
ball
just
goes
goes
way out.
flying.
And I
into-
say
it goes into
the ball
dugout.
shouldn't be dead once it hits him. So it hits him, then all of a sudden, hey, there's a guy on third, and you hit the guy running to second. Well, now you got to go pick up that ball, and that guy's racing home. So that could be interesting. Our own Hefe, Jeff Anderson, hockey, someone needs to fight every period, or the team will be shorthanded the following period. Okay, anything to create fights in hockey. I know people
You
are
just have more.
fans
Yeah, you just
of.
put a goon out there.
Yeah, basketball, if you go to a super team, you must get kicked in the nuts, also from Jeff Anderson, before every game. I don't know, is it just the one guy who you deem is the one who makes it a super team? Is it that guy gets kicked in the nuts?
Right. There's a
Or
lot of
everybody. So like the Mike Millers that was already here with the Heat, I'm getting kicked in the nuts for just being here, just being friends with LeBron. Sam Vincent said, a change in technicals in basketball, take away techs for hanging on the rim, taunting, etc. should only be for unnecessary contact or extreme verbal abuse. They tech everyone up for anything now. I actually saw Rob Perez, he's a pretty big basketball Twitter Wobe. He said if a ref tees someone up for taunting, the ref has to make 2 free throws before that tee stands. So if he says someone's hanging on the rim or taunting, that ref then has to go make 2 free throws, and then he can tee that guy up. If he misses, it's nothing. So a little onus on the refs.
When you said he has to make 2 free throws, I like the idea of he has to stay there and like keep shooting until he makes 2 free throws, like just to embarrass himself. If he just like misses like 7 or 8 in a row, just like, oh, you don't know anything about basketball.
Definitely not doing it next time. Yeah, I like that. But I also like the fact that if it's 2 free throws, you can keep track and be like, oh, well, this ref's the worst free throw shooting ref in the league. So let's see if he's going to tee him up for this.
So one rule that I think should be universal for all sports, I think referees, umpires should have to give press conferences after games. If teams and players have to give a press conference, I think umpires, referees
should have to talk about why they made that call.
Yeah, exactly. They should be held accountable just like the players and coaches are.
Yep. My iPad is dying at 7%, so we'll go through these quick. Joe Rizzoli says football should go back to 90s rules when men were men. So that, again, that's the headhunting that's killing people. So we kind of touched on that. No ties in regular soccer matches. Okay, with soccer, I could see it.
Have penalty kicks.
Yeah, I'm a fan of penalty kicks. Jeff Gunter, my future brother-in-law, said completely do away with basketball. Whatever.
It's not a rule.
Yeah.
Change.
Yeah. Hockey, no shootouts, continuous 3-on-3 overtime from Miller Emmons. I like that. I like 3-on-3.
What about one-on-one? What about one-on-one?
Yeah. That with goalies, possibly.
Yeah.
So you can't just I like that. Hockey, fighting not just allowed but encouraged. I think we touched on that. No goalies in any sports. Yeah. But then he also said also delete the shift on lefty hitters. I'm for that. I don't like the shift. Chris McMurray.
What kind of rule? Hold on. What kind of rule is the no shift thing? It's like, hey, we can't tell you where to stand in the like now we can tell you where to stand in the field.
Yeah,
hey, you can't field the ball there.
But it also got hit the other way. I'm with you. I see it both ends.
But
yeah. Our own Chris McMurray, shirts optional. I assume he only means that for men's sports.
That's just life. Chris means that just in general.
Yeah, true. Matt Cunningham with no targeting penalty. Again, everybody's choosing violence. Steve Moore, father of Ryan Moore, called down, untouched in college football needs to go away. So if you hit the ground, you can get up if you're not touched. I like that. I think it's so stupid that if
In
you
college?
fall to the ground, in college, yep. They needed another guy, Andre Buchanan. They need to do something about this blocking in the NBA. These dudes are like 6'9", 250. No way they're falling that easy. Also, they're getting hit by another guy who's probably also 6'9", 250. So
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like they're being hit by who do they think they're playing against?
Yeah. Steroids should be allowed by Cody Miller in all
Agreed.
sports. And it should be encouraged, especially in cycling, as Jordan Ruprecht said. Chris McCurdy with the Jordan rules, basketball in the 90s and the 80s and 90s. I'm guessing that he means we need to go back to that.
What does he mean by that? Does he mean that there should be
hand checking? I'm sure.
So he wants closely guarded. It's the whole. See, the thing is, people don't realize back then you had to guard your guy. You had to be like an arm's length of the guy you were guarding. You couldn't play help defense.
Yeah,
it's actually better now. Like the guys who score now are better,
way better.
Because they don't have to play one-on-one. Michael Jordan literally was guarded one-on-one the majority of the time out there because the other team, it was illegal defense to play help defense.
Yeah. And then our own Mark Shonka, ball coach, NFL, the center can't wear pants. So we'll finish with that one. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. Jordan, his dad had a lot of good rules. So while we were watching the Masters, he doesn't think anybody should be able to use yardage books. If you're a professional golfer, you should be able to use yardage books or lines on your golf ball to make sure you're putting it straight. Dunks should only be worth 1 point in basketball. He had the down distance that we talked about in football. And then max of 3 pitchers per team per game. So
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, they already went to, you got to face 3 batters unless you got the last out of the inning. So I like that. I mean, I think it'll speed up baseball. And then the last one is Jordan wants dipping back in baseball. So tobacco back in baseball.
They still do it.
Yeah, but technically they're not allowed to. So
right.
I just like to be more open about it.
Right, just like we're not allowed to dip at Prestonwood or any field.
Yeah, exactly. Or or 2 seeds, whatever. So.
Bingo, exactly.
So a lot of good rules. Thanks for everybody for engaging on that. We love fan engagement. Thanks, Connor, coming on. Thanks for the people commenting, even though it wasn't super nice of them. So NFL draft tomorrow. We will have our thoughts, I'm sure, next week. Of that, we'll see what the Bears do. If they can get Justin Fields to fall, we'll see if the Niners pick Trey Lance for Mac Jones.
We'll give some sort of update. I'm sure I'll give some sort of update after the Bears screw up.
Yep. Same. We'll have our reactions. So tune in for that. Our Twitter, Facebook, good show.
And great show. We're going to leave you guys with a video of Dick Zenendorf because you deserve it.